The cage and the girl. The room was dark and quiet. Broken wires hung from the ceiling. Smoke floated in the air. Captain Jared moved slowly through the alien base, holding his rifle tight. His boots made soft crunching sounds over glass and metal. He had been sent alone to check the ruins. The battle ended 2 days ago. No life signs were detected. But now, strange readings had started to appear. Weak signals, like whispers from something still alive. As he turned the corner, he saw it. A cage. It stood in the center of the room, surrounded by broken lights. Wires ran into the floor, pulsing faintly. Inside the cage, a figure sat, knees to chest, arms around legs. Jared raised his rifle. The figure didn't move. He stepped closer carefully. Then he saw her face. She wasn't human. Her skin was pale violet, almost silver in the dim light. Her hair was long and white, hanging over her shoulders like silk. Strange marks glowed softly on her arms and neck. Her eyes, large, bright, and golden, watched him without blinking. She looked weak, tired, broken, but not afraid. Jared lowered his rifle a little. "Who are you?" he asked. She didn't speak. He looked at the control panel beside the cage. It was old, alien, half destroyed, but he had seen this tech before. A few quick commands, and the cage hissed. The energy bars vanished. The girl didn't move. "You're free," he said. She slowly stood up. Her body shook. Her knees wobbled like she might fall, but she walked forward, slowly, carefully, until she stood just in front of him. Jared stepped back, unsure. Then she said it. "Take me, human." His mouth opened slightly. "What?" She looked into his eyes. Her voice was soft, almost like music. "My body is built for your children." He froze. What kind of sick joke was this? What had they done to her? Before he could speak, she knelt on the ground, head bowed. Her glowing marks pulsed gently. Her voice dropped to a whisper. "They made me for you. Only for you." Jared felt a chill crawl up his spine. He didn't understand. Who were they? Why him? "Get up," he said, trying to stay calm. "I'm not going to hurt you." She lifted her head. "I know. You're the seed bearer." He blinked. "What does that mean?" Instead of answering, she reached out and touched his hand. And something happened. A small shock ran through his body. Not painful. Warm. Strange. His hand glowed for a moment. Just a flash. And then it faded. "What was that?" he asked. "You unlocked me," she said simply. Before he could ask more, a loud noise echoed from the hallway behind them. Metal groaned. A red light blinked on the wall. Something was coming. The girl's body tensed. She turned toward the sound. Her eyes narrowed. "They know I'm awake." Jared stepped in front of her. "Who?" "The ones who built me." He stared at her. "You said you were a prisoner. Now you're saying you were built?" She nodded. "By who?" "By your ancestors," she said. "Long ago they touched the stars. They found us. They left behind codes. I am one of those codes. I was made to carry a new beginning. And now, you've activated it." The lights around the room flickered. Jared didn't know what to believe. He looked at the girl. She was no longer shaking. She stood tall now, her eyes glowing brighter. But she still looked at him with something more than duty. Something soft. Something deep. "You saved me," she said. "Now I will protect you." He didn't move. Part of him wanted to leave her there. Walk away. Forget everything. But something inside him said no. This was bigger than orders. Bigger than war. The girl was not lying. Not broken. Not crazy. She was made for something. And now, he was part of it. He stepped back and nodded. "Come with me." She followed. As they left the cage behind, the red lights turned solid, and in the shadows of the base something ancient stirred. She knows his name. The wind howled outside the broken alien base. Jared and the strange girl walked through the ruins, in silence. Dust swirled in the cold air. Behind them, the cage where she had waited for days, maybe weeks, was now empty. Dark. They didn't speak. Not yet. Jared kept looking at her from the corner of his eye. She moved with quiet steps, light as a whisper, but with purpose. Not like someone who was lost. She walked like someone going somewhere she already knew. They reached a collapsed tunnel. Jared scanned the walls, looking for a way around. Jared! He stopped. His heart skipped a beat. He hadn't told her his name. Slowly, he turned to face her. How do you know my name? The girl's golden eyes glowed gently. I was made with it. His hand tightened on his weapon. What does that mean? She tilted her head. Your name was written in my code. Your face was stored in my dreams. He stepped back. That's impossible. She took a step forward. You are the reason I exist. Jared's breath caught. Her voice was not cold or robotic. It was warm, real, emotional. But every word made his skin crawl with a strange feeling. Fear, wonder, confusion. I'm just a soldier, he said quietly. No, she replied. You are the seed bearer, chosen before you were even born. He laughed once, short, bitter. Chosen by who? She looked up toward the cracked ceiling as if seeing stars far above. The ones who vanished. The ones who shaped your kind long ago. They knew one day the stars would fall quiet, so they built me. And others. Others? He asked. She nodded. But I was the only one who survived. The room around them shook. Dust fell from above. A soft alarm began to beep on his wrist. Scanner, motion, he muttered. We're not alone. Her eyes sharpened. They found the signal. When you touched me, it began. What signal? The final call, she said. The one that wakes the old machines. Jared cursed under his breath. We need to move. They crawled through the side tunnel, deeper into the broken base. Old alien tech buzzed and blinked around them. Some of it responded to the girl's presence. Walls lit up. Doors opened without a touch. She didn't even look at them. Like she had done this before. Jared stopped beside a cracked wall and opened his canteen. He handed it to her. You need water. She looked at the bottle like she didn't know what it was. Then she drank slowly. Her hands trembled slightly. Jared saw it. You're not as strong as you pretend. She wiped her lips and smiled faintly. I'm just not finished yet. Suddenly, a loud metallic sound echoed behind them. A door had opened. A shadow stood in the hall. Tall. Armored. Not human. Jared raised his rifle fast, but the girl touched his arm. No, not yet. Let it scan. The machine stared at them with a single red eye. Its body was half organic, half metal. Old war tech, extinct for centuries. It looked at Jared, then it looked at the girl. It made a soft sound like a chime, and bowed. The red light in its eye turned green. Then it backed away and vanished into the dark. Jared stood frozen. What was that? He asked. A guardian, she said. The first of many. He couldn't take it anymore. Why me? What do they want from me? She sat down on a broken metal bench. Her voice was calm now, like telling a story she had told before. You carry a signal in your blood. It was placed there generations ago, hidden, waiting. It needed time to grow, to become strong. Why? Because only your kind has the spark, the fire that changes things. The ones who made me believed your kind would vanish one day, but they hoped someone would remain. She looked at him now with softness in her eyes. You remained. He felt cold inside. Like the universe had been watching him since before he was born, like his whole life had been a lie. Just a path leading to this moment. What happens now? He asked. She stood up. Now we run, before others arrive. As they moved again, Jared's wrist scanner flashed red. Multiple signals, closing in, not friendly drones. Human ones. He tapped his comm. Silence. Blocked. The girl touched her chest. Your people want to take me. They'll think you're dangerous. I am. He looked at her alarmed. To their plans, she added. Then, we hide, she shook her head. No more hiding. Suddenly her skin glowed brighter. The symbols on her arms lit up like fire. Her body tensed, her eyes flashed. What are you doing? Jared asked. Protecting you, she said softly. You set me free. Now I protect the seed. A blast of light erupted from her chest. The base shook violently. Walls cracked, lights burst, and above them, something in the sky answered. Hunted by both sides, flames danced across the ceiling as alarms screamed through the ruined base. The blast the alien girl released had shaken everything. Walls had cracked. Power lines sparked. Even the ground trembled beneath their feet. Jared grabbed her arm. We have to go now. But she didn't move. She was staring at the sky through the shattered roof, her golden eyes wide, glowing stronger than before. They heard me, she whispered. They're coming. Who? Jared asked. She turned toward him slowly. Everyone. They ran through the ruins. Jared's boots slammed against the steel floor as warning lights flashed all around them. Enemy drones were closing in. But that wasn't the only problem. He had just received a message, a cold, robotic voice from his own command unit. Stand down, Captain Jared. Surrender the alien subject for extraction. He didn't reply. His own people wanted her. So did the unknown machines in the sky, and somewhere deep inside him. A quiet part whispered he was no longer on either side. The girl, silent, graceful, dangerous, moved beside him. She didn't need to ask what he was thinking. She already knew. They reached a broken wall and slipped into an old transport tunnel beneath the base. It was dark, filled with old tech, dust, and secrets. This place, Jared muttered. It's older than the war. It's older than your species, she replied. They walked through the shadows, guided only by her glow. After a few minutes, Jared stopped and checked his wrist scanner again. 7 red dots. They're inside the base now, he said. She nodded. They won't stop. Neither will my command, he said bitterly. Then she placed a hand on his chest. His heart jumped. What are you doing? Feeling your pattern, she said. My what? Your signal. The one inside you. Jared looked away. You keep saying that like I'm some kind of chosen one. You are. He stepped back, frustrated. I'm just a soldier. I've killed people. I've followed orders. I don't even know who I am anymore. She looked at him gently. You were not chosen for your past. You were chosen because your heart did not close, even after everything. He couldn't speak. Suddenly, a high-pitched sound echoed through the tunnel. Drones. They ducked behind a large metal pillar as 2 enemy scout bots flew by, red eyes scanning, lasers active. Jared held his breath. Then something shocking happened. The girl stepped out. What are you doing? Jared hissed. Before he could stop her, she raised one hand. The glowing symbols on her skin pulsed like waves. The drones stopped in midair. They shook once. Then their red lights turned blue and they floated away. Jared stared at her. You controlled them? I spoke to the part of them that remembers, she said. They were built long ago using stolen tech. Some of that tech comes from my kind. Your kind? The ones who came before, she said. They didn't just vanish. They left pieces of themselves behind, in machines, in blood, in stars. Jared exhaled slowly. So what are you really? She looked at him with a deep sadness. A mistake, or a last hope. He wanted to ask more, but the tunnel shook again. This time it wasn't drones. Metal boots, soldiers, human, his own people, A voice echoed through the tunnel. "Captain Jared, drop your weapon. Surrender the girl. You are under direct order." Jared froze. She touched his hand. "You don't have to choose me." He looked at her. "But if I don't, they will take me, break me, study me, turn me into a weapon." Jared remembered the cage, her voice when she said, "Take me." The sadness in her words, the scars on her arms. "No, not again. Run," he whispered. "What about you?" "I'll delay them." She hesitated. "You'll die. Maybe. But you won't." She looked like she wanted to argue, but she didn't. Instead, she kissed his hand, not with passion, with respect. "Thank you, seed bearer." Then she ran. Jared stepped into the open, gun raised. His old squad appeared. 10 men, armored, armed. His old commander, Colonel Voss, stood in front. A cold, cruel man with metal implants and a dead stare. "Where is the alien, Jared?" "Gone." "Don't lie." Jared didn't speak. Voss lifted his arm. A drone flew toward Jared's face. "You were a good soldier," Voss said. "But you forgot something." "What's that?" Jared asked. "We don't rescue freaks. We end them." The drone's weapon charged, but Jared was faster. One shot. Clean. The drone exploded. The squad moved in. Chaos broke out. Jared rolled, ducked, returned fire. Old instincts took over. But there were too many. A shot hit his leg. He dropped to one knee. Another hit his side. As the soldiers surrounded him, Voss raised his gun. But before he could fire, a blast of golden light erupted from the tunnel behind them. The girl returned, floating, her body glowing brighter than before, her eyes burning, like suns. Soldiers screamed. Voss turned, too slow. She raised her hand, and the entire squad fell. Not dead. Asleep. Jared looked up in disbelief. "You came back." She knelt beside him. "You came for me first." The Temple of Awakening. The night was silent as they escaped into the forest beyond the ruined base. Jared's leg bled slowly, but he kept moving. The alien girl supported him without a word. Her skin still glowed faintly, but it was fading like she had used too much of her power. They didn't speak until they were far from the smoke and steel. Finally, Jared leaned against a broken tree and looked at her. "What, are you really?" She knelt beside him and touched his wound. The bleeding slowed under her palm. It wasn't magic. It was something deeper, like her body knew how to fix him, cell by cell. "I am the last of my line," she said, softly. "I was made by hands that no longer exist. Why? To carry something your world forgot." He looked at her, confused. "What did we forget?" "The promise." Before he could ask, she looked up at the stars. "You're not ready to understand here. I must take you to the temple." Temple? A place older than this war. Older than your species. Hidden in the bones of the earth. It will show you what you truly are. He didn't trust the word temple. It sounded like madness. But something in her voice was steady. Honest. He nodded. "Then let's go." They traveled for hours across rocky ground, through dead forests and quiet valleys. Machines searched the skies, but the girl seemed to sense them before they came close. She would pull Jared, beneath roots, into caves under strange alien vines that hid heat and sound. She was born in a cage, but she moved through nature like it obeyed her. Finally, as the sun began to rise, they reached a deep canyon. It was filled with mist. Hidden, inside the rocks was something Jared couldn't understand. A doorway. Massive. Smooth. Covered in vines and moss. No visible controls. "What is this?" he whispered. She stepped forward. Her marks lit up again. The vines shifted and pulled away like they recognized her. The stone began to move. The door didn't open. It melted, and behind it was blackness. She turned to him. "Only you can enter. It won't open for anyone else." He stared. "Why?" Because you were born with the code inside you. Not just your blood, but your voice, your mind, your breath. Everything about you fits the lock. Jared felt cold. I never asked for this. Neither did I, she said. But here we are. He stepped forward. The blackness swallowed him. She followed. Inside the temple, there was no gravity. No up, no down. The walls were smooth like glass, but warm like skin. Soft lights blinked in the air. Echoes whispered not in sound, but in memory. Jared blinked. This place is alive. It remembers, she said. They walked across invisible steps. Strange symbols floated around them. Some pulsed when Jared looked at them. Others vanished when he tried to touch them. Then the hallway opened into a chamber. In the center, a great orb floated. Inside it, Jared saw faces, human, alien, unknown. Some looked like him. Others looked like gods. The girl stood beside the orb. This is the core. It holds the truth. Truth about what? About your kind. About mine. About the world that came before all of this. The orb glowed. And Jared saw something that shattered him. A planet. Not Earth. A shining world of golden towers and green oceans. He saw humans there, but not like now. Peaceful, strong, advanced, living beside alien races. No war, no hunger. This was Eden, she said. The first home. We never learned about this, Jared whispered, because it was erased. Long ago, your ancestors tried to create peace across the stars. They built me, and others like me, to carry the balance. The vision changed. Ships fell from the sky, cities burned. The peace shattered. What happened? Fear, she said. A single word spoken by one of your kind started a chain of destruction. It tore the alliance apart. Your people forgot, mine were hunted, and I was hidden, waiting. Jared fell to his knees. So we destroyed everything? No, she said gently. You simply broke what you could not yet hold. The vision changed again. A child, a human child glowing with light, a girl, with golden eyes. He turned to the alien girl beside him. That's you, she nodded. Born in secret, designed to carry both sides. Flesh of the stars, heart of the seed. And me? You are the one who makes the seed grow. Jared stood slowly. But why me? I'm not special. Your kindness is rare. Your anger is deep, but you do not let it control you. You fear the truth, but still choose to face it, that is why. Suddenly the orb began to shake. Red lights blinked. Someone's coming, Jared said. They followed the signal, she replied. They always do. She grabbed his hand. The orb glowed brighter. Then a beam of light hit Jared's chest. He screamed, but it wasn't pain. It was memory. He saw himself as a child, a strange doctor injecting him, a hidden lab. His mother crying. This will protect him, the doctor said. He saw soldiers watching him, whispering, waiting. His entire life had been under a shadow. Someone had planned this. Jared opened his eyes. The orb faded. The girl touched his cheek. You're awake now, he nodded. They made me for this. They made us for this. The temple door opened behind them. Footsteps echoed. Not human, not machine. Something older. The girl's glow returned. If they reach us, they will end everything. Jared raised his weapon. Then we don't let them. She took his hand. Together. The chamber filled with humming sound as the ancient enemy stepped into the light. Sacrifice or survival. The chamber pulsed with energy. The air felt thick, like the silence before a storm. Jared stood shoulder to shoulder with the alien girl. Behind them, the temple whispered in ancient tongues, its walls glowing softly. In front of them, something was coming, something not alive but not dead either. From the shadows, 3 figures appeared. They were tall, faceless, and wrapped in strange metal skin that moved like liquid. Their limbs were long, their eyes glowing black. Their bodies gave off no heat, no sound, but Jared's bones knew fear the moment he saw them. "What are they?" he whispered. "Keepers," the girl replied. "Left behind by the makers. They protect the bloodlines, but they don't understand choice. Only code." Jared kept his weapon raised. "Do they know I'm part of this?" She nodded. "Yes. That's why they've come. Not to stop you, but to test you." One of the keepers stepped forward. It did not speak. It simply reached out. A beam of light hit Jared's chest. He couldn't move. Images poured into his mind again. Memories he didn't know he had. War, fire, earth crumbling, a voice screaming in the stars. The seed must live, even if the bearer dies. "No," Jared muttered, "I'm not dying today." The light stopped. The keeper spoke at last, its voice flat and without feeling. "The seed bearer is active. Initiate bonding sequence." Jared turned to the girl. "What bonding sequence?" Her expression changed. For the first time, she looked afraid. "I was hoping we'd have more time." Jared's heart pounded. "Tell me the truth." She took a slow breath. "My body is changing. Since you touched me, something inside me started growing. Not just data, life. I mean, we're connected now. A new life form is forming inside me. Part of you. Part of me. Part of something older." Jared backed away. A step. "That's what this was all about?" "No," she said quickly. "This isn't about creating a child. It's about awakening a new path. The bond unlocks the second part of the code. It protects us both. It protects the future." "So, what's the problem?" She looked down. "If the bonding completes, there is a chance my body won't survive it." The room spun. Jared felt like the ground had vanished. "You'll die?" "Maybe," she whispered. "It was always a risk, but they never told me it would be this. Soon." The keepers moved forward. "Initiate now," one of them said. Jared raised his gun. "Wait." The keeper stopped, not from fear, but because his voice had power now. Something had changed in him. He turned to the girl. "You came back for me. You saved me. Why?" Her voice trembled. "Because you made me feel alive. Not just useful. Not just created. You saw me as a person. You are a person," he said. The orb in the center of the temple started pulsing again. The walls responded to his voice. The floor lit beneath their feet. "You have a choice," Jared said. She smiled sadly. "Not anymore. The bond has started. I can feel it inside. Pulling. Burning. Growing." She dropped to her knees. Jared ran to her side. "Tell me how to stop it," he begged. "You can't," she said. "You can only finish it, or it will tear us both apart." He looked at the keepers. "If we complete the bonding, what happens?" "The new form will carry memory, code, history, defense, evolution," the keeper replied. "It will be the key. And if she dies, she returns to source, and you carry the seed alone." Jared's fists clenched. "No, not alone." The girl coughed. A strange light shimmered beneath her skin. "I'm not ready," she whispered. "I was raised to do this, but I'm scared." He held her close. "Then we do it together. No labs, no orders, no machines." Her golden eyes met his. "You would die with me?" "No," Jared said. "I'll live with you." She reached for him. Their fingers touched, and the temple came alive. Light exploded around them. The keepers stepped back. Symbols rose from the floor like smoke. They wrapped around Jared and the girl, binding them in a sphere of energy. Her body trembled. Her skin glowed. Her voice cracked with pain. "It's starting," she cried. "You're not alone," Jared said. The light grew stronger. Jared felt, his heart pounding. His mind burned with images, stars exploding, planets falling, hope being rebuilt from ash. And always. Her face. Her name. He didn't know it before. Now it echoed in his mind. Ariel. She screamed. Her body arched, floating. Golden light streamed from her chest. Jared stepped into the light and held her. His body began to glow too. The pain hit him like fire, but he didn't let go. He could feel her slipping. "Don't leave me," he whispered. "I'm trying." Her voice was fading. "But if I don't make it, you will," he shouted. Outside the temple, machines fell from the sky, human and alien alike. Satellites cracked. Transmission arrays died. Something ancient had awakened and all networks went blind. Command centers screamed into silence. Leaders watched their screens turn black. And somewhere in that chaos, the last temple pulsed once and went still. Inside, the light faded. The keepers knelt. Jared opened his eyes. He was still alive. So was she. But she had changed. Her skin was still violet, but softer. Her glow was deeper. Her eyes had turned silver and gold. She looked at him. "Jared," she said. He smiled. "Ariel." She touched her stomach. "It's there. It's growing. And I'm still here." He wrapped his arms around her. They had survived the bond, but they were not safe yet. The world would come hunting, and now they were more dangerous than ever. The choice of the seed-bearer. The temple was quiet now, too quiet. Ariel sat against the wall, breathing slowly, her hands on her stomach. The glow around her had faded to a soft pulse, steady like a heartbeat. Jared stayed close, watching the shadows. He didn't trust the silence. It felt like the calm before something terrible. They had survived the bonding, but now they were marked, not just by machines, not just by the ones who made her. They were marked by something older, something awake. Far above, in orbit, dozens of warships moved into position, human and alien alike. Both sides had received the same signal, an ancient frequency that echoed through deep space. The seed has awakened. They didn't know what it meant, but they knew it had to be stopped. From the darkness of a command ship, General Haldren stared at the screen. He had studied Jared since the beginning. He knew what the man was capable of. But now, this was beyond what any file had prepared him for. "Target confirmed," his officer said. "Weapons locked. Waiting on your command." Haldren clenched his jaw. "Not yet. I want eyes on the ground." Back in the temple, Jared helped Ariel to her feet. She was stronger now, but different. She moved slower, like something inside. Her had changed her balance, her rhythm, yet her presence was larger, fuller, like the space around her bent to her will. They stepped out of the temple into the cold dawn light. The sky was filled with fire trails. Drop pods, hundreds of them. Ariel stared up. "They're coming for us." Jared checked his weapon. "Then we run." "No," she said. "Not this time." He looked at her sharply. "We can't fight an army." "We don't need to," she said. "We need to reach the source." "What source?" "The cradle." Jared frowned. "What's that?" "The place where the makers started it all, where the final memory sleeps. If we reach it, we can send a signal to all races. The truth. What really happened before the wars." "You think they'll listen?" She looked into his eyes. "They don't have to. The truth changes people even when they hate it." He stared at her. Then he nodded. "How far?" 40 clicks, she said. "Through hostile ground." "Then let's move." They made their way through the broken valleys and shattered metal fields. Old machines from wars long past lay in rusted piles. Birds avoided the sky. The wind carried the sound of distant engines. Halfway through the canyon, they were spotted. Drones dropped from the air like wolves. Ariel raised a hand, but nothing happened. Her power was gone. Jared fired. The first drone fell, then the second. They kept running. Behind them, more machines landed, crawling over the rocks like insects. They reached a ravine. No bridge. Ariel looked across. I can make it. You can't jump that. I wasn't talking about jumping. She closed her eyes. The symbols on her skin flickered but weakly. Ariel, Jared said, pulling her back. You're not strong enough. But the child, I'll carry you. She looked at him surprised. You'll fall. Maybe, he said. But if you fall alone, everything ends. He lifted her in his arms. She was light, but he felt her heart racing against his chest. He ran, leaped, landed hard, his leg buckled, but he held on. They rolled across the ground, breathing hard. The drones didn't follow. They weren't meant to chase. They were meant to delay. Hours passed. They reached a wide plain, and there it stood, a broken tower of metal and stone, half buried, in the earth. The cradle. Ariel stepped forward, but something was wrong. The ground trembled. A massive ship descended from the clouds. Not human, not alien, something in between. The old enemy, a fusion of stolen tech and ancient blood, grown in secret, built to erase the seed forever. A voice echoed from the ship. Surrender the vessel, or we will burn the world around her. Jared stepped in front of Ariel. You'll have to go through me, the voice replied coldly. Then you will die with her. Guns charged. Ariel touched Jared's arm. We don't run this time. You're not strong enough. I don't need to be. I just need you. She took his hand. Light exploded between them. Not from her, not from him, from within them. The bond had evolved. The seed had activated. The ship fired. A beam of pure energy shot down and shattered in the air before it could touch them. Ariel rose off the ground, glowing like a sun. Her eyes were burning silver. Jared floated beside her, surrounded by golden flame. They were no longer just man and woman. They were the seed united. They were the message, and the war machines could not touch them. Ariel raised her voice. It echoed across the plain, carried by something deeper than sound. No more war. No more lies. The truth begins now. The ship tried to retreat. Too late. The cradle opened. A beam of memory shot into the sky, and the stars changed. Across space, soldiers dropped their weapons. Leaders cried without knowing why. The old truth had returned, a memory of unity, a vision of peace, and the seed had survived. But in the silence, Jared felt it tremble. Ariel fell into his arms. Her light flickered. No, he whispered. It's too much, she said. I gave everything I had. You can't leave now. I won't. But you must choose. Choose what? Me? Or the child? His heart cracked. You can't ask me that. I'm not, she whispered. But the seed is. He looked into her eyes, and for the first time, he couldn't decide. The child of stars. Jared held her in his arms as the world changed around them. The sky had shifted. The machines had stopped. The warships above no longer fired. Even the air itself felt different, like the planet had taken its first breath after centuries of holding it in. But Jared could not breathe. Ariel's glow was fading. Her skin, once silver and warm, now looked pale and cold. The bond had drained her. The message had saved the galaxy, but might cost her everything. Don't close your eyes, Jared whispered. Stay with me. She tried to smile. You're glowing. He looked down. He was. His veins shimmered gold. The seed had taken root in him fully now. It wasn't just power. It was knowledge, memory. Something inside him pulsed with more than life. It pulsed with purpose. I can save you, he said. There must be a way. She reached up weakly and touched his face. You already saved me. You gave me more than the mission. You gave me love. His throat tightened. Ariel, don't say goodbye. But her body shook. Her fingers slipped from his cheek. Her breath turned shallow. You have to choose, she whispered again. Me, or the child. And then her eyes closed. The Keepers appeared once more, silent, tall, ancient. One of them stepped forward, speaking in that cold, metallic voice. "The vessel has completed her function. The seed must be preserved." "Bring her back," Jared growled. "Not possible," the keeper replied. "Her energy is spent. Her body cannot hold both life and the bond." Jared stood, holding her, close. "You want the child, but not her. Correct?" Jared looked at the sky, fire trails, still ships, waiting. He looked at the cradle, open, alive, full of power. Then he looked at her. "I made a promise," he said softly. "I said I would live with her, not without her." The keepers didn't move, but something changed. The ground beneath Jared lit up. Symbols rose around his feet. A voice echoed in his head. Not Ariel's. Not the keepers. Something older. The bearer has chosen. Jared stepped into the cradle. He laid her inside where the energy was strongest. And then he placed his hand on her chest. The seed inside him burned. He felt fire in his bones. His vision turned white. His memories unraveled. Every moment of his life flashed backward. Every pain, every loss, every reason he ever doubted himself. Then, silence. The light flowed from him into her. He gave her everything. Outside, the sky cracked. The warships started moving again. On one of the ships, General Haldren stared at the monitor. A new energy spike was rising. Massive. Pure. Unstoppable. "What is that?" his officer shouted. Haldren stared. "That is not something we control." Inside the cradle, Jared collapsed. Beside her, empty, weak, nearly gone. But she moved. Ariel gasped for air, light returning to her skin. Her marks lit one by one. Her eyes opened, burning gold and silver again. "Jared, what did you do?" He smiled faintly. "Gave you what was mine." "You shouldn't have," she whispered. "I needed to." She looked down at her stomach. The glow inside it had changed, stronger, clearer, and then a voice, soft, clear, young, echoed in the cradle. "Mother. Father." Jared blinked. "Did you hear that?" Ariel nodded, tears in her eyes. "It's speaking already." "How? Is that possible?" "It's not a child," she said. "It's the future, wrapped in flesh." The keepers stepped back, lowering their heads. "The seed has become." Then the sky broke open. Enemy ships launched ground units. Jets screamed over the valley. Cannons pointed down. Soldiers dropped fast. Ariel stood holding Jared's hand. "They still want to destroy what they fear," she said. Jared's strength was gone, but his spirit burned. "Then we show them something stronger than fear." She kissed him, then stepped outside the cradle. A great wind swept the field. Ariel's body rose into the air. Her voice carried across the battlefield, reaching every soldier, every commander, every mind. "We are not weapons. We are not monsters. We are not your enemies. We are what you lost, and what you need to remember." Some soldiers dropped their weapons, others fell to their knees. On the command ships, leaders argued, but the data on the screens was clear. No threat detected, no attack incoming. Only light. The child's voice joined hers. "You don't have to kneel. You only have to listen." In one moment, the war ended, not with death, not with blood, but with truth. Days passed, then weeks. The cradle remained, protected, by light no one dared to cross. Jared healed slowly. Not fully, but enough. Ariel stayed close to him. Stronger than before. Softer too. They sat together in the grass one evening, watching the stars. "You think they'll accept it?" Jared asked. "Maybe not today," she said. "But one day." He nodded. "And us?" She smiled. "We are already part of them now." A soft laugh echoed nearby. The child, glowing faintly, walked toward them. Not old enough to run, not yet walking like others, but with eyes that held galaxies. You named him? Jared asked. Ariel shook her head. He named himself. The child looked up. My name is Solari. Sun child, Jared whispered. The child smiled. You gave me life, now I'll give it back to the stars. And so, the war that almost ended everything gave birth to something new, not just peace, but hope. Hope carried in the arms of a human and an alien girl who were never meant to meet. Hope born from love, from sacrifice, from the choice of one man who chose life over orders, and, in time, the galaxy would remember their names, not as soldiers, not as enemies, but as the first parents of the child of stars.